Picture this. You open your fridge, you see a yogurt pot sitting there. It looks fine, smells fine. But then you check the lid. The date says it expired yesterday. And suddenly, your brain panics. You start thinking it's dangerous and you bin it. Every year, UK households waste more than £14 billion worth of perfectly edible food. That's £470 walking out of your kitchen and straight into landfill. And the biggest reason? Those tiny printed dates that you've been trained to obey without question. Today, we're exposing what those dates actually mean, why supermarkets deliberately keep you confused to control what you eat, and the simple tricks that could save you hundreds of pounds every year. The 3 dates you've been misreading. Here's the first thing supermarkets never properly explain. There isn't one type of date, there are 3, and they mean completely different things. Use by is the only one that's actually about safety. You'll find this on fresh meat, fish, and ready meals. After this date, harmful bacteria can multiply to dangerous levels. The Food Standards Agency is crystal clear. Don't eat food past its use-by date, even if it looks and smells fine. This one matters. But best before is where the manipulation begins. This date has nothing to do with safety. It's about quality. Your biscuits might be slightly less crispy, your crisps might lose a bit of crunch, but they won't make you ill. WRAP confirms that food with a best before date can legally be sold, eaten, and even redistributed for weeks, months, or even years after that printed date. And then there's the display until date. This one isn't even for you. It's purely for shop staff to rotate stock. It has zero relevance to when your food becomes unsafe. Yet millions of shoppers see it and assume it means something about freshness. Here's the kicker. A recent investigation found that 720 million eggs get thrown away in the UK every single year because people confuse best before with use by. That's nearly 750 million eggs gone because of a label most people don't understand. Why supermarkets keep you confused? So, if the difference is this simple, why hasn't anyone told you? Because confused customers are profitable customers. Industry insiders have pointed out something uncomfortable. Manufacturers set these dates themselves. There's no independent body checking whether that best before date is genuinely accurate or deliberately conservative. And here's what WRAP discovered when they investigated. Many products have a significant buffer built into their dates. Translation? Your food often lasts longer than the label suggests, sometimes days longer, sometimes weeks. Think about that. If you're throwing away food 2 days before it actually goes off, you're buying replacements earlier than you need to. You're making extra trips to Tesco. You're spending money you didn't have to spend. Some critics argue it's in the direct financial interest of supermarkets and manufacturers to set shorter shelf lives. The faster you throw food away, the faster you come back and buy more. Whether intentional or not, the system is designed to make you doubt perfectly good food. The supermarket confession. But here's where it gets interesting. The supermarkets themselves have started admitting the system is broken. Marks & Spencer quietly removed best before dates from over 300 fruit and vegetable products. Sainsbury's dropped them from more than 1,500 lines. Waitrose removed them from 500 products. Even Asda has cut dates from 250 items. Why would they do this? Because they know those dates were making you throw away food that was still perfectly fine to eat. Morrisons went even further. They launched what they called the sniff test campaign, asking customers to smell their milk instead of blindly following the date. They replaced use-by dates with best-before dates on 90% of their own brand milk. The Co-op did the same with yogurts, specifically to combat the £100 million worth of yogurt British households bin every year while it's still safe to eat. When supermarkets themselves are telling you to ignore the dates they printed, you know something is deeply wrong with the system. What this is really costing you. Let's put real numbers on this. The average British household throws away £470 worth of food every single year. That's not food that went mouldy. That's not food that made you ill. That's food you binned because you saw a date and assumed the worst. RAP found that 70% of the 6.6 million tonnes of food thrown away by UK households could have been eaten. That's 4.6 million tonnes of perfectly good food going to landfill every year. And it's not just your wallet taking the hit. When food rots in landfill, it releases methane. UK food waste generates 25 million tonnes of CO2 emissions annually. That's equivalent to 3.5 million cars on the road. All because of a date labelling system that prioritises corporate liability over consumer clarity. The foods that last far longer than you think. So what should you actually trust? Tinned foods can last years beyond their best before date if the tin isn't damaged or bulging. Dried pasta, rice and cereals, months or even years past the printed date. Honey literally never expires. Archaeologists have found edible honey in Egyptian tombs. Hard cheeses like cheddar can last weeks past their best before if stored properly. Eggs, despite what most people believe, they're often fine for days after the best before date. The float test works better than the label. If an egg sinks in cold water, it's still good. Bread, biscuits, crisps, all quality dates. They might be slightly stale, but they won't harm you. The foods you genuinely need to respect the date on: fresh meat, fish, unpasteurized dairy, and ready meals with a use-by date. These are where real food safety risks exist. Everything else deserves a second look before you bin it. Your new shopping strategy. Here's what you do with this information. First, check the date type before you panic. Is it use by or best before? That single distinction could save you throwing away perfectly good food. Second, trust your senses. For anything with a best before date, look at it, smell it. If there's no mold, no off smell, no strange texture, it's almost certainly fine. Third, freeze before the date. Your freezer is a pause button. Meat, bread, milk, even cheese can be frozen on the day of purchase and used months later. Fourth, know which supermarkets are actually helping you. Morrison's, M&S, and Sainsbury's have removed dates from hundreds of products. Shop the loose produce sections where there's no date to confuse you. And finally, stop letting a printed number override your common sense. That date was set by a manufacturer protecting themselves from lawsuits, not by someone looking out for your health or your wallet. Which of these surprised you the most? Drop your experience in the comments. And if you want to watch a video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.